Why do most people and companies settle for mediocrity? Today, I'll share 3 powerful lessons from Good to Great by Jim Collins, which completely changed my life, both business and personally, and helped thousands of people break through conventional mediocrity and strive for greatness. Jim Collins' Good to Great is a game changer for anybody striving to be more. These 3 lessons aren't just for business. They're tools that you could use to completely transform your life. Let's dive in. So, right off the bat, first and most important lesson, first who, then what? And he uses the analogy of the bus. It is more important by far to know who's on the bus than where the bus is going. People are the most important element of any organization. What is a company at the end of the day? What is an organization? It's nothing more than an organized group of people that are organized for a common mission and a common purpose. And the better quality people you have in that organization, the better quality business it will be. You have to get the wrong people out of the company and the right people in. I will actually take as well a quote Donald Trump said in the past. It's not a bad employee that's going to kill your business. It's a good employee. Bad employees, they'll make themselves known as bad. They'll do something stupid that'll get them fired or they'll quit. Great employees, cherish them. They're rare. Pay them as much as you can. They will take your business to next levels. But a good employee is just good enough to not get fired, but they're not good enough to take your business to the next level. Having the right people in the right roles ensures your business has the capability and flexibility to change as needed. Inevitably, when you get into trouble, the ties of good people will remain. You need excellent people to take your business to the next level. There's a reason why companies like SpaceX or Tesla or Amazon, all of these high sought out jobs have such high barriers to entry because they want the best people they can. And A players, as Steve Jobs famously said, only want to work with other A players. They actually won't even tolerate B or C players. It'll demotivate them. Do whatever you can to cultivate a disciplined culture of A players, of the right people in the right positions. The second lesson, the hedgehog concept. You want to focus on 3 things. You want to focus on the intersection of what you could be passionate about, what you're good at, and what drives results for your business. And Jim Collins uses the analogy of the hedgehog versus the fox. The fox is a very smart and cunning creature and thinks of a million different plans, a million different ideas, a million different strategies. And ultimately, the reason it's the hedgehog versus the fox is trying to catch the hedgehog. And he's trying to think of a million different ways to succeed in catching the hedgehog, but he fails all the time because the hedgehog is very simple. He has one idea, one way to protect himself, and that's simply balling up and letting his thorns protect himself. And that's just a silly analogy to basically say companies that are able to focus on one core idea, one core strategy are the ones that succeed versus the people that have a million different ideas and their focus is completely shattered amongst many different domains. Jack Welch probably was the most famous person to ever implement the hedgehog concept. If you look at when he took over GE, he famously had a rule where any line of business they were in, any company they owned, anything, had to be either number 1 or number 2 in its market. If not, they closed it down or they sold it. Jack Welch completely turned around GE and built it into one of the largest companies on the planet. And it was for that reason they only focused on the lines of business that they knew they were passionate about, that they could succeed at being the best in class, and what drove results for the company. When you do find your hedgehog concept, focus on it exclusively. Put all your capital, your time, your energy, all of your focus on that one line of business and see it through to completion. I know there's a age-old adage of don't put all your eggs in one basket. I don't agree with that. Certainly Good to Great wouldn't agree with that. And one of my favorite quotes from Andrew Carnegie, one of the wealthiest men that's ever lived, hated that quote. And he said, put all your eggs in one basket and just watch the basket. You want to focus all of your thoughts and your energy on one line of business and see it through to completion. The third takeaway, the most powerful lesson in Good to Great is the flywheel. The flywheel effect. If you look at a flywheel, big, heavy piece of metal, takes so much energy, so much effort to get it to even move. And you keep pushing, you keep pushing, you keep pushing, and eventually that wheel finally makes one rotation. And now you have momentum. Now that second rotation is a bit easier, and then the third, and then the fourth. Greatness comes from consistent, cumulative progress, not dramatic breakthroughs. And he uses this amazing analogy that I love about the chicken egg. If you look from the outside in at a chicken egg, just an ordinary egg. Day after day, nothing changes until suddenly, all of a sudden, the egg shakes and cracks and out pops the chicken. Revolutionary, right? A breakthrough. But no, obviously, we all know that if you look at it from inside the chicken egg, it was just one step in a long chain of events that led to that breakthrough. The egg was fertilized, it began to develop and to grow and to evolve and to incubate. And eventually, at some point, that chicken began to develop and it was ready to hatch out of the egg. And so breaking the egg was just one more step in a long series of actions. And he uses that to demonstrate what success really looks like. It's not just an aha moment and you're successful. All of these great companies, and Good to Great was modeled based off several different companies that they did these case studies on. They all at some point saw their results take off, which is very similar to that egg breaking out of the shell. But all of that effort, all of that success was tied to a long history of many years of consistent buildup, consistent, dedicated action. It takes a lot of effort to get that flywheel to start moving, but eventually once it starts rotating, momentum starts to carry itself, and that flywheel will continue and continue and continue. And if you look at all those different things, you want to get the right people on the right seats on the bus, get the right people in the organization. You want to focus on one clear idea. This is what we're doing. Everybody's rolling in the right direction. Everybody's marching to the same beat of the same drum. And eventually, consistent, dedicated, decisive action day in after day out is what ultimately gets results. All right, guys, those were my 3 favorite lessons from Good to Great. Definitely a book that has completely changed my life. I highly recommend everybody reading it. This short summary is not going to do the book anywhere near as much justice as actually picking it up and reading it. Click here if you want to see more videos. And as always, please like, subscribe, comment, tell me what you want to see next. Thank you.